I'd like to welcome everyone to our few moments together on the Parsha. This Shabbos is known as Shabbos Hagadol. There are a number of reasons why it's called Shabbos Hagadol. One of them, of course, being that the Haftorah ends with the words, Hinei Anochi Sholeach Lechem Es Eliyah Hanavi. Behold, I am sending to you Eliyah the prophet, Lifnei Bo Yom Hashem, before the day of the coming of Hashem Hagadol, the Hanorah, the great and awesome God. And so it's called Shabbos Hagadol. Of course, under normal times, this Shabbos, we would be getting together in the shul for davening. In the afternoon, we would have a lengthy drasha on Shabbos Hagadol covering halachic topics and also speaking about the Haggadah and various lessons and ideas to be learned from the upcoming Yom Tov of Pesach. Unfortunately, we're left with just a video, just perhaps some Zoom time, where we have been giving shiurim every morning at Daf Yomi at 7:15, every evening at 7:45. This week, we had shiurim in the Seder and Haggadah, and again next week, on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday nights, we are going to have shiurim about the Haggadah. Today, in our short video, I'm going to speak about a few things having to do with the situation that we're in and the Yom Tov of Pesach. First and foremost, we know that on Pesach we drink 4 cups of wine. The Rashbam at the beginning of Perik Arvei Psachim in Masechta Psachim makes the comment that we drink 4 cups of wine corresponding to the 4 Lashonos Shel Geula, V'hotzesi, V'hitzalti, V'ga'alti, V'lakachti. We lift a cup of wine for each of those 4 expressions of Geula. Rav Shamshon Raphael Hirsch tells us that these 4 expressions of Geula and the drinking of a cup of wine is to teach us that these 4 expressions of freedom and the cup of wine that accompanies it is there for the specific purpose of teaching us that even though we are drinking wine, and normally 4 cups of wine would enslave a person through inebriation, the Jewish people are so free. We have such a tremendous Zaman Cherusenu on Pesach that even the 4 cups of wine will not enslave us. Some Mefarshim bring down that the concept of the 4 cups of wine and the lifting of the cup on Vehi She'amda Lavosenu is predicated upon the fact that the wine of the Jewish people separates us. It keeps us apart. Social distancing, if you will, from others. Not because we will be affected with a coronavirus, God forbid, but because we may be infected with a virus. Not a virus, but a virus. We may be infected with getting too close to others who might influence our minds. And so the Meshech Chochmah brings down that one of the reasons why we lift the cup when we say Vehi She'amda Lavosenu V'lanu, this is what stood for our forefathers and for us, the separation, being separate from others. We shouldn't think that the fact that we are now separate from others is anything unique, even though we are separate from our own Achenu B'nai Yisrael. But being separate for the Jewish people has always been a great gift, because it's what has preserved our nationhood. It has preserved our uniqueness. That's what stood for us and our forefathers It's not one. It's not one nation, not one thing, not one virus, not one enemy of evil that has stood against us to destroy us. There's always something that is out to destroy us. But Hashem saved us from their hand, and we lift a cup to that, because we recognize that in the cup of separation that the Jewish people have kept from the rest of the world, as the Gemara in Shabbos points out, so that we don't intermarry and we don't lose ourselves amongst the nations of the world. This has taught us the uniqueness of the Jewish people, and that has stood for us. And Hashem saves us from their hands. Now, as I mentioned, being separate has certain benefits. One of the benefits, although it has many drawbacks, we all know that. We can't daven with a minyan. We can't learn together face to face. But there are positives. We ourselves in the shul have done everything we can to continue our daf every morning. It's on Zoom. Please look at the website. You will see how to get on. We are giving shiurim at night, every night at 8:30, and now for before Pesach at 7:45 in the Hagadol. And we plan on continuing to give more shiurim in order to enlighten us over the entire Yom Tov. At the same time, the Michol HaMoed especially, at the same time, there are other advantages that come from being separate and being alone. One of them is, I've noticed, of course, I too attend the davening every single day. One of the great gifts that Hashem has given us to daven with a minyan, you feel the camaraderie, the closeness with other Jews. We come together as a minyan. We daven. We come together on Shabbos. We sing together. But even at home, when we are by ourselves, there is a gift. And that gift is that I have the time to focus. See not only the meaning of each and every word, which every once in a while we'll come across a word that we thought we understood the inner meaning, and then when we think about it, we find that it's much broader and there's much more depth to the meaning of our davening. And I'm going to give you some examples that I personally have discovered of late in the last few days that we've been separated and not being able to come together to daven. Here's something to think about. Oz Yashir, the song that was sung when the sea split, comes at the end of the section known as Psuke de Zimra. Sentences of song, the Hallelujah prayers, each and every one of them brilliant in its exclamation of praise to God for all the gifts that we have, but the culmination of the greatest of all gifts, of the fact that God in the heavens has given us a world of beauty, a world of Hagadol v'chol gavaos, a world where the mountains and all the peaks sing praise to Hashem. Achaya v'chol behema, every wild beast and every domesticated animal gives praise to Hashem. Remes v'tzipa konaf, even the smallest crawling creature or the birds up in heaven, all of them. Zekenim im ne'orim, elders and young people, we all give praise to Hashem, but the culmination of all that praise is Oz Yashir Moshe, Yitzias Mitzrayim, the coming out of Egypt. Listen, if people who were slaves for 210 years as a nation can be taken out of another nation by the hand of Hashem with wonders and miracles and splitting of seas, can't He help us in our time of need? Can't He help us live through this difficult time? Certainly He can. Next, take a look at the next section of the davening. Beautiful prayers of praise to Hashem. In fact, in Or Chodosh, in the paragraph L'Keil Baruch Imo Sitenu, we say, Ki hu levado. Now we list 9 things. Poel Gevuros, Oseh Chadashos, Baal Mulchamos, Arei Tzedakos, Matzmiya Yeshuos, Borei Refuos. He's the one who creates healings for those who are sick. Nodos Sehilos, He's awesome in His praises. Adon Haneflos, He's the master of all wonders. This Hashem, 9 different times, Hamachadesh Betuvo, B'chol Yom Tamid, he is able to renew, each and every day, B'chol Yom Tamid, Ma'aseh V'reishis, 9, 18, give life. HaKadosh Baruch Hu give life. But the culmination of that is found in Hashem Elokechem Emes. In the daytime, we say Emes v'yatze v'nachon v'kayam v'yashar v'neman v'ov v'choviv v'nechmad v'na'im v'noda v'adir v'sukan v'mekubal v'tov v'yafa. 15 expressions of greatness, clear as day. And at night, Emes v'emuna calls us. It's true, but all of it is emuna. And we go on to Ezras Avosenu. And what do we see in the prayer of Ezras? Again, Mi Mitzrayim Gealtanu, Mi Beis Avodim Pidisanu. You took us out of Egypt. You saved us. And with that, we put together Go'al Yisrael with Shemona Esrei. Now the Gemara in Shabbos tells us, the Gemara in Brachos, that tells us what we say in the Haggadah. That Omer Elazar ben Azariah, Harei ani keven shivim shana, lo zachisi shetiyama Yitzias Mitzrayim b'leilos. I didn't know you had to say Yitzias Mitzrayim at night. Why do we say the third paragraph of Shema at night? Because it has in it, Ani Hashem Elokechem asher hotzesi eschem me'eretz Mitzrayim. I am Hashem who took you out of the land of Egypt. The paramount and most unbelievable event in the history of the Jewish people that gives us the emunah and the betachon is Yitzias Mitzrayim. We have a father-to-son tradition passed down from the 3 million who witnessed it to this day over a course of over 3,000 years with an unbroken chain that Yitzias Mitzrayim has kept us alive. And that's what it means in the Haggadah. Vehi she'am dalav osenu. V'HaKadosh Baruch Hu matzilenu miyadam. We say praises and we're alone. And at night we sing even about the Yitzias Mitzrayim. Because even in the darkest night, even when we have the most difficult times, we have to remember that Hashem took us out of Mitzrayim. He took us out of Mitzrayim. He can do everything for us. And we know that. We recognize that. And because we've recognized that, we've been able to exist no matter what they've thrown at us, no matter how they've tried to undermine us, no matter what physical battles we've had to fight, no matter how many times people try to undermine our faith, like Haman, Yeshno Am Echad, Mefuzar Mefodad, Bechol Ha'amim, he's separate. And Haman even pointed out, Achashverosh, if a fly falls into the wine of a Jew, he just throws the fly out. But if you, Achashverosh, would touch the wine, he would spill out the wine. They're different. They're separate. They keep their social distance from us. They're not like us. You're right, Haman. That's exactly what we do. We separate, and that's the key to our survival. That's the key to our longevity, and that's the key to our total continued existence, ad bias goel tzedek, until the true Redeemer comes, because that's the nature of the Jewish people. And so when we approach the Shabbos Hagadol, when we approach the lifting of the 4 cups, when we say V'isha Amdalav Oseinu V'lanu, this is what stood for our forefathers and us. It's this Shabbos Hagadol, the time we took the sheep to slaughter the god of the Egyptians, without fear, without worry. And that stands in our good stead, because we are separate from the rest of the world. Just like today, everyone is separate from everyone else. But the Jewish people's separation is one of a spiritual nature, and it guarantees our survival, our continuance, our future. And our future can be seen through the Pesach Seder even when we are alone, because we can gain from the introspection, from the ability to look into things, think about them, and grow as people. Ladies and gentlemen, Abosai, when we get together soon, after Hashem saves us from this plague, after he gives the ability of man to come up with the vaccines, with the protection, after he gives our ingenuity the ability to make computers that can teach us Torah even when we can't be together, when that day comes, we're going to get together once again, and we're going to recognize the gifts that we had. We're going to enjoy them more, and we're going to be better people because we grew from the experience of being alone and thinking about the existence of the nation of Israel. And when you lift that cup of wine at the Seder, even if you're alone, I want you to know you're not alone. Because V'hi she'amda lavosenu v'lanu, it stood for all our forefathers. It stands for us too. And no matter how many years have gone by, I am going to get up at the end of the Seder, and I'm going to dance L'shana Haba'a B'Yerushalayim, because the people of the Jewish nation is eternal, because of our faith and trust in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. No matter what they throw at us, HaKadosh Baruch Hu matzilenu miyadam. A wonderful, wonderful Shabbos. If we have the time to make another video before Pesach, we will. But if we don't, I want to wish a Chag Sameach, Chag Kosher v'Sameach, a wonderful Shabbos, a great, uplifting Shabbos, even when we were alone. A Shabbos Hagadol. L'fnei bo Yom Hashem, Hagadol v'Hanorah. Shabbat Shalom u'Mevorach, Chag Kosher v'Sameach. A blessing to the Jewish people. My heart is with every one of you, despite the fact that we can't be together. My heart is with every Jew. And those of you who are alone, you're not alone. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is with you. We are with you. Good Shabbos and Chag Kosher v'Sameach.